So now that your child's mastered phase 2, which is distance and persistence, so that's traveling to their book, traveling to you, and really sticking with those exchanges, now we're going to move on to phase 3A, which targets simple discrimination. So in this phase, we really start to teach a child that they need to exchange a specific picture. Up until now, there's only been one picture symbol on the front of their book, so they don't need to even look at that picture or really decide if that's what they want. They just need to know that I pick up this picture and I give it to you and I get what I want. Now they need to really look at the pictures, choose the correct picture, and then give it to us in order to get what they want. So the goal of phase 3A is that the student will discriminate between a picture of what she wants and a distractor item. So let's talk about distractors. Distractors are any items that your child doesn't care about. So we want them to be pretty neutral. They're not preferred, meaning your child doesn't like them, but they're also not aversive or scary. So we don't want your child to be terrified of the distractor. We just want it to be something that they definitely don't want. Some possible examples are napkin, sock, paper, cup, pen, really anything that they just don't care about. We want to make sure that these distractors are actually distractors because sometimes we might think they're going to be a distractor. We might think the child won't like them, but that child figures out a way to have fun with that item. And in that case, we need to pick a different distractor. So for example, if you give your child a napkin, and he waves it in front of his eyes and really likes watching it, we need to find a different distractor because that actually is reinforcing to him. He is enjoying having that item. So once we have a distractor and we know it's not reinforcing, we can start practicing phase 3A. So the first step, we're going to sit within arm's reach of your child with the communication book in front of them. So we're moving back to the setup that we had in phase 1. We're not going to practice traveling right now because your child has mastered that. So we're going to focus on this new skill and make everything else as easy as possible for them. We're going to put 2 picture symbols on the cover of the book. So one of the item that they want and one of the distractor item. And then you also need to make sure you have both of those items. You're going to hold them up and silently entice them with the item. It could be an action, but items are definitely easier to hold up and show. So you're going to silently entice them like you did in phase 1. You're not going to say, look what I have, or, oh, look at this slinky, look what we can do with it. You're just going to show it to them and wait for them to initiate that communication again. If they pick up the correct picture symbol, you're going to praise them as they take it off the cover. So once you hear that Velcro come off, you're going to say, yeah, or good job, or that's it. And then when they give it to you, you're going to give them the item as you label it, just like you did in phase 1 and phase 2. If they give you the picture of the distractor, you're going to follow the error correction procedure that we're going to talk about in the next slide. If they did, well, regardless of if they get it correct or they make an error, you're going to put the picture symbol back on the cover to get ready for the next trial. Where it's different is that if your child got it right, so if they handed you the correct picture, you're going to make sure that you move around both picture symbols on the front of the book. And we want to do that to ensure that your child's not just always thinking, oh, I pick up the picture from the left side of the book, that's the one I take, or I pick up the picture that's on top of the book, that's the one I give them. So we really want to make sure that they're looking at the picture on the card and not just the position of where it is on that front cover. So this is going over the error correction. I am going to play the video, but the text is on the side if you want to follow along that way. But it's a little too much to just hear about it. I think this is one of those things that you really need to watch it to understand it. I do want to just give a little warning too. This seems like a lot, and it is kind of a lot, but this is something I would suggest practicing with another adult or just by yourself. So there's a lot of little parts in it to remember, but I promise you that once you practice it enough, it really does become like second nature, and you won't even have to think about it anymore. For phase 3A of PECS, we're helping your child start to discriminate between 2 picture symbols. So you need an item that they really want and an item that they don't care about, as well as those 2 pictures on the cover of the book. So in this case, she really wants the slinky and she doesn't care about the paper. Usually you would have the book facing the child, but just for the purposes of this video, I'm going to turn it towards you.
And again, you are within arm's reach now. We're not traveling anymore quite yet. So I hold up both items again. I silently entice her. I kind of just show her what they are. And if she hands me the picture of the Slinky, I'm gonna say Slinky and give it to her. And she gets it because she gave me the correct picture. And then I'm gonna move where the pictures are located on the book just to make sure that she knows which picture is which and not just, oh, I always pick the picture on the left.
So that's just demonstrating a trial where the child got it correct. And now we're going to talk about the error correction.
So if she gives me the paper, we're going to do an error correction. So I'm going to give it to her. I say paper. She's going to reject it in some way. And I put the picture back exactly where it was on the book, point to the picture she actually wanted, and block the other one. Once she gives it to me, I say Slinky, and I kind of match it, but she doesn't get it yet. I again put it in the same spot. I flip the book over as kind of a reset. I put it back, and I give her the opportunity to do it again. So now I have both items again, and this time if she gives me the Slinky picture, she gets it. Slinky, because she gave me that picture independently, I didn't need to point to it. If she makes two errors, so if she gives me the paper picture, I say paper, and she doesn't want it, I point to the Slinky, block the paper, say, yeah, that's the Slinky, put it back, flip the book, bring it back. If she gives me paper again now, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to say paper and give it to her. She's going to reject it. I point to the Slinky picture, block the paper picture, match it, say Slinky. And then I'm going to flip the book. But this time, while I'm flipping it, I'm going to take the paper picture off. So she only has the option to give me the Slinky. And then once she gives it to me, I say Slinky, and she gets it. And that's just so we don't cause a lot of frustration, and they still get reinforcement.
So I'm just going to go back one more time and let you know which step we're doing in the video as we watch it. So this is about to be step 1. This is step 2. And this is step 3. And that's step 4, is putting the picture back in the same spot. And that's step 5. And this is step 6. So feel free to come back and watch this video example as many times as you want. It might help to have your child's PECS book in front of you and to practice it as we're doing it in the video, because it's really just one of those things, like I said, that you need to get used to that motor plan of doing it. So you need to, the more you do it, the easier it will be. That's all we have that's required to watch for this phase, but I'm going to show some extra video examples that show the error correction with real children doing it, not just with us doing examples, in case you really want to see it again. So in this one, you'll see this little boy makes 2 errors. So that's why you'll notice that when I flip the book over, I do take the paper picture off. So in that case, he did need that extra help of having the one picture symbol on the book to make that correct exchange. But then after I took the light up toy back after that trial, both pictures go back on the front. Here's another example. This child is requesting a mirror. So you'll notice that when the child is picking up that picture, she's picking up the picture of the mirror and the communication partner saying that's right as she's picking it up. She's moving the picture symbols around right now because the child selected the correct picture. So now the child's going to make an error. So the sock is the distractor. So now she's giving the child an opportunity to do it independently. And she requested the mirror accurately this time. So she gets it. But the pictures are going back in the same spot because she needed that help. And you can see she's just waiting. She's not saying anything. She's just waiting to see if her child will regain interest and try again. So that's our training video for phase 3A. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I know this error correction can be a little intimidating, but the more you practice it, the easier it'll get. And it will really help your child learn.